we'll have this discussion.
Discussion? What discussion?
This is a discussion.
Combustion.
Coming to you from Denver, Colorado. This is Discussion Combustion Podcast with your hosts, Kevin Batstone and Arthur Rawe.
Happy day, Kevin.
Happy New Year, everybody. And thanks for spending it here with us. Not quite New Year's yet, but this will be the last episode of Discussion Combustion
Not
of the
New
year.
Year's yet.
We still, of course, have Happy Friday dropping tomorrow. So, but you know, we kind of it's a once a week deal. So, you know,
Last DCPC of the year, man.
of the year of 2023. So cheers to
This
that.
is. Yes, cheers to that. It's good to kind of switch things up too. I'm kind of having fun.
I don't really like it, but
Sitting over here, you're over there now.
It's too much Happy Friday because when folks tune tomorrow, they're like, "Wait, wasn't he there yesterday?"
But I'm running the board from over here, so it's a little
Yeah,
mix
but the
up.
viewers don't really care who runs the board.
But sometimes on Happy Friday, I am sitting in that chair back to back as well.
Sometimes it does happen.
So it's like the same. It's like every week almost. It's like every other week.
Except you never run Discussion Combustion from over there. Usually, if you're over there on Happy Friday, you're not running the board.
This would be a DCPC first.
This is a first.
This is a DCPC first. And it's a wrangle, too, because we've been running with the left for a while. We used to run with the right, run the rolling with the right.
And Bruce, yeah.
Yep. So, hey, that's how we're doing it. New Year's vibes. It's so good to be here across the couch or across the table from Kevin. And what we're going to be talking about on this one is, well, some of the things I'm going to be talking about. I know Kevin has some shit to say, but I kind of want to get into a little more personal since it's just you and I. And
I'll start off with a story,
Yeah.
a personal story that occurred to me a few days ago.
Okay.
Or it happened to me. I haven't told the story. I think there's only two people that know the story. Now the world's about to hear it, but this is just the way life goes. So we have a guest coming on at the end of January, a guy by the name of Joey Hedge, solid lad.
Yeah.
Invited me to the Denver Bronco game here in Denver against my New England Patriots. I was able to attend. Fantastic time. I was up in the suite having, drinks and food and rubbing shoulders with cool people, and it was cold, and it was a whole experience. My New England Patriots won, so I was really excited to see. I took an Uber down, because I was going to do the light rail, but I was like, man, Uber's going to get me there quicker, and I don't have to deal with all the, changing trains and all this shit.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's kind of a pain in the ass to get to Mile High Stadium from the south side of town where I live. So leaving the stadium, anytime you get out of a big sporting event, people know like Ubers, they raise the rates.
Oh, yeah.
It was like
you're gonna
showing
pay like double.
if not triple.
Okay. Yeah.
It was like
goes up.
$90 is what it was quoting me right outside of Mile High when the game got over. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to keep walking downtown, towards downtown. It'll be easier to get an Uber. So I went about 3 miles.
Yeah.
And I'm
I
like, all right.
I think that's a good call. I've done similar things in the past.
It works, though. It's like I'll walk. I'm not paying 3 times if I can walk. Take me 20 minutes, whatever. And started seeing the price come down. I'm seeing 60, 50, 40. I'm like, all right, once I get in the 30s, we'll probably be in a pretty good range
Yeah.
to get out of here. And so it's, it's Christmas Eve. It's late. Game's over. Everyone's going home to be with their families. So it was quiet downtown. And I'm on Colfax, which for folks who don't know, Colfax is not a great part of Denver. A lot of homeless, a lot of drugs, a lot of prostitution. But I'm like a couple miles just east of Colfax and 25.
Okay, so you went east toward the city.
Yeah, because I'm getting away from the stadium.
Yeah.
And I had to shit really bad because I'd eaten so much food. I've been drinking all day.
Yeah.
Just overworked my system. I have, as you know, working with me, to have a system. And it was not one of those ones where it's like, okay, I'm going to, try to find a gas station or run in there. I was like, I had to go now.
Okay.
It was pretty urgent. And I didn't feel like shitting my pants on Christmas Eve. It would have made for probably just as good of a story. But so I had to shit, Art, down in, I found like a little area. I basically shit like a bum.
So a crap on Colfax.
It wasn't technically on Colfax, though. It
Okay.
was, but I walked down into, there was like some building down there. Everything was closed because Christmas
Yeah.
Eve is dark. I'm like, well, this isn't too bad. I'll be able to drop trow here and let her rip. And it's cold this night. It's one of the, so it's a steamer, and I had to let it rip. But the question is, how was I going to cleanse myself, right?
Yeah.
To get home in decent shape, so I'm not reeking, right? Well, I had bundled up so much that I had 2 pairs of socks on each foot, and I had these Toasty Toes toe warmers, which are like these not plastic, but like hard paper, pretty good size each.
Yeah.
And I had a couple of those on me in some of my pockets, so I'm like, I can make this work.
The Toasty Toes came in.
Use those first.
Okay.
I went first to clean myself up with that.
All right.
And luckily there was a trash can nearby.
Okay.
So, I was able to.
You threw all this stuff away.
Yep.
Okay, so you were responsible Colfax crapper.
Yep. I mean, I even kicked some snow and dirt on it.
Oh, okay. So covered
like a dog would.
Yeah, what was okay.
And to kind of throw away the supplies that were used. So socks and toasty toe hand warmers were used. And I'm telling you what, I'm glad I made that decision. It was very unpleasant.
And you mentioned like you had 2 pairs of socks on.
I did.
Due to the game. So you sacrificed a
one
pair
of
of
the 2
socks for the cleaning.
Yep, I think it was worth the sacrifice.
Okay, I would agree with that. I mean, yeah, nothing's more uncomfortable than an itchy butt.
Well, yeah, and just, you don't, yeah. Like I could have gone home and showered it off, which
Yeah.
I did, but I actually did a good job cleaning it up. I mean, I had more resources than some people around the world had to do it.
Yeah.
Right, socks and these things. So it worked. But it was, it's 11 o'clock at night, downtown Denver. It's cold. It's Christmas Eve, and I'm, having to let it rip on the backside, on the side of Colfax before I Ubered home because I knew myself well enough. If I get in this Uber, I'm going to shit myself.
That would have been worse.
It would have been way worse.
Because then you're wrecking this dude's car as well.
Yeah, and it would have been one of those, yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to let it rip.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a tough one, man. I mean, for all the listeners out there, like what absolutely crap emergency, must shit right away. What are you going to do it? Are you going to crap on Colfax? I mean, look, that's like only the brave are going there.
It's a tough call.
Because look,
I was by myself.
A lot of people would probably try to find somewhere to go. Try to go find somewhere to go shit. But this is a unique. This is Christmas Eve.
Yeah, nothing was open.
Nothing's open.
I mean, I probably could have if I kept trekking it. I was even thinking, like, how close am I to Arts right now? Because I'm starting to come up. I'm like, there's no way.
There's no way you're getting that close to
no
my
way.
place. Yeah.
No, but like, was it feasible to even think about?
Oh, like pit stopping.
To Uber to your place.
Yeah, for the pit stop.
Yeah, and like being like,
crap
dude,
stop.
I got an emergency here because I knew how to get. I couldn't even use
a poop pit stop.
at the lobby or something. like it crossed my mind. I'm like, I can't make it.
Yeah.
I got to go now.
Okay. Wow.
So that's the situation. That's how my Christmas Eve went.
That's
Christmas
dire.
was fantastic with the
Yeah.
family. The game was tremendous. So yeah, that's my personal story that I'm gonna open up this with for the end of the year.
Well, no, that's definitely personal. I mean, that's real personal, man. I don't know if I was leaning toward that kind of personal story for myself, but since it's the New Year's, it's good to be honest of all things, and I being able to share that type of story on a public platform such as Discussion Combustion, it takes courage, man, and I respect that. I do.
It was unpleasant, right? But
these things happen.
It's
though.
relatable.
These things happen. I mean, you and we always try to be authentic and real. Like
Yeah.
I was gonna shoot a video on Snapchat just for Clint, and I
watched this a few times,
and I busted my ass. I like
it was hilarious.
I was about to tell Clint because it was snowing out there. It wasn't anybody.
It was
out.
icy.
It was icy underneath the snow on the path, and I'm like, I whip it out to like talk some shit. I'm like, hey man, I'm out here right now. And I couldn't even get 2 words out, and I fucking busted
You were down.
Yeah, I busted my ass. It didn't hurt that bad, but sharing the truth.
I'm amazed you were able to keep the camera rolling through the fall.
Yeah,
Like I'm surprised your hand didn't come off the button.
it somehow turned on the good morning sticker, so I kept that. That was a happy accident. It was one of those happy accidents.
Yeah, when I watched that, I watched it again.
Yeah. That was one of my most viewed ever videos for some reason. Is the busting of the ass.
Because it's authentic.
The busting of the ass, and so my busting of the ass on a walk to you busting out your ass on a Colfax crapper, you know what I'm saying? Like we got to stay authentic here, and one thing kind of jumping into this is that I've been staying authentic with myself and a challenge that I have almost completed. I'm not going to say I'm not going to say it's completed yet. I'll save that for next week, but on this health journey during the summer, I took some time off drinking like 40 days.
Yep.
And then in August, I started drinking again and was really cognizant about how it made me feel. And I wasn't really enjoying it as much. And before all that even, like getting started, like I had known that I've been drinking every day for a long time, for a very long time, every single day. And so I started taking 1 day off a week. Eventually, I started doing that.
Yeah, the Mindful Monday I think you were doing.
Mm-hmm. Or like simple Sunday, like either day, just one of the days, as long as it was one of the days off.
Well, didn't you and I make like an oath that you were going to do 2 days no drinking and I was going to do 10 minutes of fitness? Was that last year's
So that was mid this year. That was just like a mid-year challenge to ourselves.
Yeah.
Because fuck the New Year's resolution shit.
Right.
And we've said that on every single New Year's episode.
And we'll continue to say it.
Yeah, it's like if you want to make a new goal or change, you could just do it right now.
Right.
At any time.
Own it at any moment.
So I knew I was seeing that I had this issue with drinking. I started taking a day off. And then I started doing the 2 days. That was a new challenge. So it progressed. And then I took 40 days off. Started drinking again. And then in October, my mom challenged me to Sober October. So I accepted that almost immediately because I was already on the fence about it, drinking as much. And then I challenged myself to finishing out the year. So I've almost completed that. And that's been an interesting one, right? And so kind of that's like one of the things I want to talk about a little about closing out 2023. And then going into 2024, you called it. I would cut to myself over there. You called it. Over there.
I didn't see it.
Only the lonely.
This is why you should have sat over there. But hey, you woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah. So it's interesting. And going into 2024, I guess, closing out 2023, I just wanted to, be good with that. But I did let go of my eating more sugar, not fasting as much. Like I've been relaxing.
It's the holidays.
Yeah. So as far as 2023, because there's a lot of progress made in a lot of different areas, what would you say were a couple of your highlights from this year as far as just personal achievements from Kevin Batstone?
Well, I mean, this year had a lot of challenges, of course. So, I take it all the way back to, the beginning of 2023, right? So we're still at the old studio, and, I'm coming into my second year with my day job company and, learning the business a bit. And then we got hit with a challenge of how are we going to financially move and still keep this going. So I think,
That's crazy. That was this year.
That was this year. And not to mention we had a live event to do. So there was a lot of things came out of the gate early in 23.
Yeah, it did come
expectations and challenges that were put upon us. A lot of these, of course, were self-created. Mash the Gas had a tremendous year.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of success over there. We're looking forward to carrying that into 24. And I think just getting older and having more experiences, getting my anger management more under control, having more self-control, obviously coming up on 6 months left to go for me being able to drink alcohol. So getting mentally prepared for that. And I have been for years, but now it's knocking on the door. It's coming quick.
Oh, it's going to be here almost immediately.
That's going to be big in 24. Yeah.
Almost immediately.
It's going to be here quick, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be here quick. But, look, I think there was a lot of good things that happened in 23. A lot of challenges, a lot of understanding things, and, getting tested with people coming back into my life and, things of that nature. And just like what everyone else has probably been dealing with.
Yeah. So because I've been kind of open about the not drinking thing on this platform, but a little bit more personal when it comes to like dating, and my experience with women in 23, and also my health journey. Like it's been interesting because there's been moments where I was like overly attached and over emotional in the beginning, and I feel like that tends to drive women away. And that's kind of what I feel like that was naturally something that happened with me, where I would like want to give a lot too soon.
Yeah.
And that ended up being a huge weakness. So I've learned how to be tactful as far as how to expose, because you don't want to not be genuine, right? You still want to be yourself.
Of course.
But there's a certain way to do it where it doesn't come off like super dopey or something.
Well, we've had multiple conversations, with Paul Roseberry being on the show. We talked about it then. We talked about it with a few guests that we had on the past few weeks that talked about getting back in the dating world and kind of what that looks like. And, we've alluded to it a lot in kind of what that looks like. And, I would say the majority of especially American men tend to over-pursue early and push women away, because they're, essentially weak, needy, and insecure. And that's one of the biggest turnouts for women, right? The first test is the physical attraction and did we have a good time, but then space, right? Giving individuals space is crucial, I think, from what the collection of data that we've learned from guests, the live market, all the experiences.
But being just really honest with myself about and with my peers that I care about, having those intentional conversations where I am open about how I acted and not sugarcoating it, not over saying anything, like just as is. Like, because sometimes like it's easy to want to exaggerate things or like accentuate a point. So like and everybody does it. Like, I'm guilty of it too, where you like add a little extra seasoning on that story.
Of course.
You know, everyone does that.
Telling a fish story, as they all say.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's okay. That's okay as long as you're in the same pond that the fish is supposed to be in, right?
It's fair.
But
Picture it didn't happen.
Picture it didn't happen. 2023 was really a year of a lot of like looking inward for me, and kind of coming to some peace with that. Being an ex-opiate addict and like kind of looking at the alcohol and using that daily. I was definitely abusing that for a while, like drinking bottles of whiskey weekly and shit. But it's interesting once you start to remove substance, and I still use marijuana, so I can't just claim that
right.
I'm like sober. But you really start to realize like that there's a lot of beauty in the everyday, and a lot of light and a lot of life in each day. I guess is where I'm going. I don't know how to cap it, how to cap it in, because it's been like a year of like weight loss, you know, podcast successes, learning with women, overcoming addictions. Like, a lot's been going on, man.
Been a good growth
and
year.
I'm kind of tired right now. Like, I am. Like, I feel so like, oh.
Yeah, well, I think that's pretty common this time of year, though. I mean, everyone's worked hard. We got through the year. You know, again, I still look at New Year's as we're going from November to December. We're going December to January. You know, fiscal calendar years do have some sort of representation. There's tax implications. There's health benefits that expire and are reinstated. There is things that do happen with the new year. I get that. But it's, again, all we're doing is changing the number, right? Like,
every day is the same. Basically, not in a mundane way. I'm not trying to be mundane with
like
it.
the Nine Inch Nails song, every day is exactly the same.
No, not like that.
No, it's not like that. But, you know, is it an opportunity? We talked about this on Happy Friday Denver with John Ekstrom, and the results that we learned that by the time we reached June, less than 9% of people were still going through with their New Year's resolutions. Yeah. That's not good numbers. That's 9 out of 100. It's 9%. It's
it's not good.
So, you know, I don't think New Year's resolutions are the best. Look, for those 9%, it worked, and that's great. But 1 out of 10 is not good numbers.
You know, I feel like it's nice to be able to have that as a recap. Like, how we're recapping this year, like I almost kind of forgot 2023. Like, we actually were in the old studio before moving into this studio.
We did the live event, which was 200, so it was 40 episodes ago.
Yep. So that's kind of wild. It's nice to kind of catalog that, and then I like what Sean Antonio does. So he's been on an episode in the past, and a great person. He's coming on again soon.
Yep.
And life coach, and one thing that he does with people is he makes like a fuck it list or something like that.
Chuck in the fuck it bucket.
Yeah, like everything that you're like, you know, screw that about this year. Like I'm burning it, and you actually write this list out, and then you burn it, and like you put it in a bucket or whatever, wherever you could burn safely, and you just write that list and then burn it, and then as it goes to ash, you can let go of it because you've written it out, you put it in ink. And now you let it go. So it's kind of like one of those things where you could just recap. And it is kind of crazy to see how the years went.
Quick.
I feel like 2024 is because, look, in 2021, I was like, holy shit, that's one of the best years I've ever had in my life. Same with 2022. And then 2023 is on dude, it just keeps getting better right now. And both you and I and a lot of people out there that support us, and you're doing your things as well. Like, I don't see a ceiling right now where we're like in that point in our lives, and we need to seize the moment while we can.
Absolutely, we got to keep riding the train. I mean, take the lows with the highs. There's gonna be some lows, and you know, that's just life. Things are gonna happen. We're gonna get tested with situations. Things are gonna come at us that we're not expecting. You know, I hope to make better decisions in 2024. You know, both professionally and personally. Obviously, one of those being giving up alcohol and just trusting my intuition and judgment on some things a little bit better.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm looking at doing. That's not necessarily a 2024 thing. That's just more looking at what that timeline is, right?
Yeah, and you know, you can lean on me for sure, and I'm not gonna make too big of a point about this during this episode because we talk all the time,
right?
But you know, just start slow, maybe, and from now, like in January, like, you know what, I'll take one day off of drinking a week. Like, you just start that first little step, you know, and so that way you're not jumping in. Because I fail at cold turkey type of shit. I fail when I go all, like, if I don't do it slow and steady on my way out, just from my experience, like, it takes a long time.
I got an action plan, and it's you know, as we get closer, you'll kind of see how it's going to unfold. But it's gonna be a good journey, man. So, you know, for me. But like I was saying, lows and highs come, challenges are going to come. Women, whatever, being tested with the dating world, or whatever kind of relationships are happening. That's always going to be a thing, and so we got to keep the ball moving, keep focused, keep the mission, drive, purpose. I mean, I'm speaking for me, but I also include you in this because you and I are very like-minded. Keep sticking to the mission, drive, purpose. Right? We're coming up on 5 years of doing this.
And what? Okay, so I know we mentioned it before, but what is, just so we have it on wax right here, right now, time-stamped, right now, what is Kevin Batstone's mission, purpose in life?
To be my authentic, unapologetic self and to entertain throughout that process. So in other words, the story I shared about me shitting on Colfax, is that my mission, purpose? It's part of it, to share those experiences, to bring it to people to experience and relate to, and also give them a laugh at the same time. I've always kind of been a class clown entertainer. I needed to do something with that.
No, I mean, that is a ridiculous story. That is a ridiculous story.
It is. And yeah, I think just being in this business that is still developing, right? Everyone tells me I have a radio voice everywhere I go. It's old. I'm over it. It's a great compliment. I'm very grateful when people tell me that.
You're over people giving you a compliment?
Yeah, well,
is that what you're saying?
It's
right
just
now?
like, it's predictable. I'm always like, oh, thank you so much. That's a nice thing to say. But in my mind, I'm starting to realize what very beautiful women go through when they're complimented on a specific thing all the time. Like, your lips, your eyes. It's like, okay, well, I have other things other than a radio voice.
Yeah.
So, kind of looking at it that way. But I'm very fortunate to have that, because now I have the opportunity to do what I love.
I have other things than a radio voice. Can you compliment my hands, please?
I have actually received compliments on those, so we call their art. That's more from women. I don't think men really like my hands as much.
Okay.
And if they do, that's great.
Yeah.
I'll shake your hand.
I like your purpose, and I also agree with the points that you're making earlier too. Like, it doesn't matter if we're going into a new calendar year, okay? I guess this is one thing that we're going to really drive home on this solo. This end of year discussion combustion fucking solo is that you could do it at any fucking time.
You can own it at any moment.
You can just go do it.
5 years, yeah. It's easier said than done.
Go ahead and get to failing, okay?
Yep.
And let me know your progress in 3 months after you've been failing, and like, I guarantee you start to harden your shit up.
Yeah. You got to fail to succeed. That's not 100% true across the board on anything you do, but in general, the majority of people that I have chatted with, that we've chatted with, and some of the entrepreneurs that I've seen make it, whether you inherit something or handed it, whatever, however you want to word it, there's still a lot of work and commitment that had to go to take that to the next level. Is it easy? Some people are like, oh, well, that person inherited this money, so of course it was easy to do that. Not necessarily. Still had to be smart with that investment. You still had to show up. You still had to surround yourself with the right people. You had to stick to it, and work hard at it. So everybody's dealt a different hand. Some people have to come out of the trenches. Some people have a little bit more of an easier path to success, and that looks different for everybody. Yeah. Right? So all I can do is control what I can control, and that's my own personal success. And that's one of the affirmations that I say to myself daily is I'm strong, happy, successful, got this. All those things repetitively hopefully will continue to yield results. Yeah.
Perception is reality. I think that to be true. I really do believe in that. So it is true for me, if you believe that. So that's funny how that works.
I like it.
But one thing that I really also want to call out is this fucking flash in the pan type of motivational bullshit. And it's self-derived, okay?
What is the flash in the pan thing exactly? Does that just mean like...
So flash in the pan is like, you have a really searing hot pan on the stove, and you put a drop of water in it. It goes... It flashes and dissolves.
Okay.
That means like it was like, eh.
So the analogy is like it was hot, it happened, it's gone.
Yeah, and you could just it was a good idea. It could have been steam. It could have turned into an engine or something. I don't know where the analogies are going to go from there, but
fair.
A flash in the pan. This flash in the pan motivation bullshit is fucking whack. Okay, and like, how dedicated are people really? That's my question to the listeners and viewers. Is like, how bad do you really want something? Like, are you willing to, like, make yourself uncomfortable to get this done? And, like, not just for 2 fucking weeks. anyone can go out there and give it a good old 2-week college try and say, not for me.
Yep.
Like, really?
Well,
Like 2 weeks?
we learned 91%.
That's all you're going to do is 2 weeks? So I'm just going to take this moment to call anybody out that has these ambitions and big goals and big sights. Well, guess what? It's not going to get easy to get there. And so 2 weeks ain't going to fucking cut it. And I think this flash in the pan motivational shit is fucking whack. And it's not sustainable. And coming from where I've went on some of my things, I'm sitting here like it's not going to work. And,
Right.
and I would just love to see people who put more into action than they do into what they want people to perceive them to be. And what I mean by that is that some people talk a lot about things that they're going to make happen and achieve, and then they don't really try it out. They don't really give it their all, and then their talk was cheap.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
So that's my little rant.
I like it.
That's my real rant about this bullshit of like, I'm gonna fucking go out here and crush this. Oh yeah, just go do it then. I don't need to hear you talk
Correct.
about it. Like,
No,
go
I
do
agree.
it. Let's see if you got it.
I agree, man. Yeah, no, I agree because I hear a lot of it too, and I like to encourage people when they're like, "Yeah, I got this idea. I want to do this," or "I have this next Shark Tank kind of idea. This is going to be so big, and this is how." And like we're going to do it like this, this, and this, and we're going to acquire that to do it, and then we bring in this. This sounds like a great business plan to me. Now what?
Yeah.
Well, don't have the money right now. Whatever. Like there's always, and those are reasonable excuses. It's great to have ideas, right? Or goals even. Oh, I'm going to lose X amount of weight, or I'm going to get this done, or whatever the case may be. Whatever it is, starting a business, making a life change, relationship change, breakups, moving to a new city, you name it. Couldn't agree more. And I know a lot of people that are that way. And all we can do is continue to do what we do is to motivate those individuals to make the right decisions.
And
right?
that's. I mean, I've messed up. I've had my 2-week flash in the pan moments, where I knew I didn't give it my all, and I knew I wasn't full-hearted into it, and I was over talking. Like that's one thing too in 2023, and I've been working on this one for like over 4 years. Like I don't need to voice what's going on in my life so much, and like just try. If people ask, I shall let them know. But I'm just not going to be offering up my shit to people anymore. And that's something I've been really trying to work on and just being more stoic. And that was part of it, too, because, like, when you have, like why? Why am I trying to overshare? Why am I sharing this? Like, is it something that I am making up for because I want people to have a certain perception of me? It's like that's just shit I was just talking about. I don't know. There's layers to all this.
There is. Well, and it's also a little bit situational too, because it's like, who are you telling? Random guys on the street, guests that we just met for the first time.
That's true.
Friends, family, right? Because there's certain things I feel like I'm pretty close to my parents. Like I tell them a lot of this. They don't hear everything, and they don't want to hear everything. Believe me. But like I share some of the things with them, right? That I'm doing or I'm planning on doing, right? Family, kind of our group. Right. Generally speaking, we all kind of know, not 100%, but we know where we're at, what we're doing, what our plan is, where we're going, what we're doing that weekend, whatever. If I'm out of town, like we know our whereabouts on each other, right? But I guess I know what you're saying too, because some information, and that's where, for a lot of folks, that's where the social media comes in, and that's where they get a lot of that, because some folks don't have the friend group that we have, or the family that will always pick up the phone when you call, so they take to social, and that's where it goes down that dark road.
Yeah, it's just. I feel like it's always there's nothing wrong with looking into a mirror and learning who you are and sitting in silence and being with your thoughts and developing a friendship and a relationship with ourselves. There's nothing wrong with that. It's difficult. And the only reason why I'm harping on this 2-week, and this flash in the pan stuff is because I've done it. I see people fail there, and I just want to call it out. And so, if you're going to, I knew when I did that, when you're doing that, do you have the courage to admit to yourself and your peers, like, hey, I had an idea and I actually fell short on that idea. I actually didn't see my idea through. Like, are you going to be real enough with yourself to admit to that, and then actually do something? Because any of these big changes, since we're in and out 23, going with that theme, like, it's not gonna happen in a month. It's not gonna happen in 3 months. Honestly, 6 months for something big and critical to change in somebody's life in 6 months, like, that's even kind of quick in my opinion. Like, you have to be dedicated to this. Like,
Let's go years.
Like, yeah, I'm on foot and I have to get to this destination regardless of the weather, regardless of the path. I have to walk there. I'm going to walk there, and it's going to be difficult sometimes. But that's like how it has to be. That's how, like, your mentality has to be. It's like, I'm getting to my destination and I'm walking there. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm going to get there. And they might move the city 24 miles. The destination point moves further away when you thought it was close.
Yeah.
You know, it's like one of those things.
Yeah.
To really dedicate yourself to it. I don't know, man.
It takes a lot of mental toughness, and not everyone's going to be conditioned or built or even want to do those kind of things. A lot of, we talk about Complacent Boulevard on the show a few times. Now, and I think, to reiterate what that means exactly and like the mission behind it, it's not saying that because, it really comes down to, are you happy with where you're at in life?
And being honest about that.
Being honest about it. Because it's easy to say, oh, yeah, this is good for me. I don't, make a ton of money or whatever, but I make it by, and this is good, and I'm not really going to try to do anything outside of that.
This is enough, sort of thing.
If you truly believe that, which I think there is a percentage.
And being happy with what you have is extremely healthy.
It is.
Like, that's extremely healthy.
If it brings you happiness.
But if you're being honest about it, like, are you truly being honest? Are you truly happy with your current circumstances? What is your output to society? All I know is when I'm exhausted, like I was saying, I'm pretty tired right now, but, like, I feel the best I've ever have in my entire life.
Yeah.
Like, high output.
Mentally and physically, yeah.
High output.
Right. And that's going to look different for some
Yeah.
people. A lot of people get mental stimulation through whatever they do, or on the physical side, just ripping the gym all the time and being a gym rat, and maybe,
I think it's just staying productive, right? Like, you don't have to have a podcast. You don't have to be ripped in the gym or, like, any of this stuff. Like, just keep your house clean. Like, I think that is honest advice that can go across the board. Keep your clothes clean, keep your body groomed, keep your place tight. Like, if you can do those 3 things,
pretty easy tasks.
And like, everyone should find appreciation that it simplifies life. It shows that you appreciate and respect what you have. And then the environment in which you're living for and how you feel, or living in and how you feel, is escalated because it's clean and tidy.
Yeah.
So, like, that's, if I could give any advice, like, fuck whatever demons you got in your closet, like, just maybe pick up grooming more often, keeping a tight place where your place is kept. Like, can put stuff away when you're not using it. Like, clean the space out, clean the mind.
Well, and I think there's even been studies that have shown, personal happiness and comfortability and, like, self-worth even goes up when you have, like, we've all met people in our life that have been like, oh, I don't really want you to come back to my place, because it's a mess, man or woman.
I'm not prepared to invite somebody over right now. My place is not ready. Like, that kind of mentality.
Correct. We've all bumped into that before.
Yeah, I've been there.
I mean,
long time ago.
I've gone through different stages of how I keep my place, but one thing is, it's always been tidy.
Yeah, you have always been good at that. Even when I first met you, like, you always kept it tight.
Yeah.
You did. Your parents did good with that.
That's just how I was raised.
Yeah, your bed was made. My bed wasn't made. I'm older than you. My bed wouldn't be made. I'm coming down to your apartment. Your bed's made. I'm like, who is this guy? I think I need to be his friend. It was because you made your bed.
You got to make your bed, guys. You got to make your bed. It's not that hard, It just isn't, and that just shows just a simple. Like, I've talked about this before. Remember my 10-minute rule? Bring the 10-minute rule.
Oh,
back.
hell yeah. No, this is good.
The 10-minute rule is fantastic.
Yeah, bring it
It could be in the
back.
morning. It can be at night. It could be at any time of the day you want. If you work nights, like my brother does.
Yeah.
My brother works nights.
Yeah.
Okay? And this one's for you, Matt. I know you're probably listening.
I got the camera on you.
So the 10-minute rule, which I don't know if I've told my brother about, but this goes out to everybody. This will apply because he's always like, well, I'll do that another time.
Mm-hmm.
He's good about certain things, right? But the 10-minute rule is this. You put 10 minutes on the clock, put it on your phone timer, put it on the microwave timer, whatever timer you want to put it on, and just get to work and just see what you get done. And when that timer goes off, if you're like, man, I put my time in, go sit down.
Mm-hmm.
But I want you to reflect after that 10 minutes how much you got done.
Mm-hmm.
You probably got the dishes unloaded and reloaded. You probably got the floors swept. You probably got a load of laundry going. You probably made your bed.
Mm-hmm.
You probably were able to vacuum the apartment or whatever. There's so much you can get done in 10 minutes.
There really is.
And that's not that much out of your day.
There really is. It's therapeutic, man. So last night, it was the long holiday weekend, and so I was like, all right, I got to do like my once a week clean here, and it was more than 10 minutes, but because I'm like at that point where I like I want the 10 minutes all day. Like I'm just like, how much can we do all the time?
The point of the 10-minute rule is to motivate you to go over.
Yeah, you get started, and no, the 10-minute rule actually is. Let's focus on that for just a moment because it is so crucial. Because if you sit here, like, how much time do people spend scrolling on their phones? And just
more
like
than 10 minutes.
trying to find, way more than 10 minutes. Go look at your phone thing right now on your screen time, and it's going to tell you
That's going to be alarming.
Yeah, how long you've been on there, and then just take a small portion of that time, like 10 minutes of that time, and just, like, organize the shit that's underneath your bed or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
There's so many things you can do in that time.
Mm-hmm.
Taking the trash out, whatever.
It's crucial.
Folding some blankets, putting some things away, cleaning up the toys on the floor if you have kids, whatever.
Yeah.
There's so much you can do.
It's therapeutic.
It is.
Like, I was all taking some time, and this person, they asked me, hey, do you need help? And I'm like, no, because I find this very therapeutic, and I enjoy cleaning and being tidy. It's like some of those things where it's like, let me handle it. Like, it's so, because it gets so nice to keep it nice. Yep. It's nice to keep it nice, but it's also nice to take constructive advice.
No, I would agree with that. I'll tell you what's on my 10-minute clock when I get home from this podcast recording. So it's been snowing and kind of shitty here in Denver, and so I got a lot of salt, or as you know, when you come into my apartment.
Yeah.
And so, I clean the floors, and then they get wrecked again.
Yeah.
I do have the kickoff mat, which I probably could do better at kicking my boots off when I come into my place, but you know me, I don't take my boots off till I go to bed. So the floors are getting a good cleaning tonight.
Okay.
That's on my 10-minute rule because I don't really have anything else to do outside of that.
I like that. I'm going to continue. I'll work on discussion combustion. And then my 10 minutes, I don't know what it's going to be right now.
I could probably find something.
Like, I know there's probably some chore I could do. I mean, I cleaned yesterday, like what I was talking about. So,
well, I know one chore you could do.
What's that?
You can install my Christmas gift that I got you.
That will be my 10 minutes.
That'll take about 10 minutes.
Yeah, that'll be my 10-minute. Yeah, so that's what I'll do after I get the episode.
Excellent.
Good and jolly. But, man, Kev, it's always so good talking with you.
Another year in the books, brother.
I know that we could just keep going and going on this.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
we're at 37.
Yeah. We could keep moving easy, but the main thing is that I want to bring this one back a little, and we've been saying it, but believe and achieve, and I mean that. Like, really believe in yourself that you can reach the limit of what you believe to be successful. I believe everybody can find their own level of success and obtain that. Like, everybody knows, only you know what your level of success is. Like, you can't say it for anybody else. So believe in yourself and then achieve it, even if it takes a year, even if it takes 6 months, 2 years. Stay in the trenches and keep going. Like, so believe and achieve. That's how I have to close this one out, man.
I got to bring back the let it rip tater chip. I mean, that never went away, just like believe and achieve didn't, but it's good to reiterate those, especially as we're reflecting. I don't get a ton of opportunities throughout the year to do these. So let it rip tater chip. That doesn't necessarily mean let it rip on Colfax like I did on the back end. Have a little bit more situational awareness and body control than I did on that one. And just learn from what the mistake that I made of not taking the opportunity to handle it in a better way.
Okay, let it rip, tater chip.
Let it rip.
Believe and achieve. Thank you, everyone, for the support. Ever since we started, we're coming up on 5 years now.
5 years, man. 250's coming up.
Years.
We got some things happening. We're not going to
Yeah,
reveal that
we're
yet.
not saying anything right now, but I do have to say that we've seen a lot grow in 2023. So everyone who's a newcomer and supporting us, everyone who's been there since day one, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we appreciate the support. Everyone that tunes in every week gives us any of your time, even if you don't finish these episodes. Just any time, likes, support you get on social, kind words. It does not go unnoticed. We're certainly very appreciative and have a lot of gratitude that we're able to do this every week. It's my favorite part of the week, and I love doing it, man. Talking about my mission, drive, and purpose. It's right here, baby. So I'm looking forward to carrying that into 2024.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Close it out strong, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow on Happy Friday, America.
That's right. That'll be our truly final show of the year, Art.
It will be.
So be good to yourselves.
You deserve it.